Big Uz, but Big Uz on a Monday.
Hey, what?
I said
You said what on a
Big Uz.
Big Us?
Yeah, you were just, but if we're gonna, it's because we're live on a Monday.
God. Anyway, welcome to the Legends Clubhouse.
Big
I
Uz on
am
a.
I am Big Bobby Caboose, as always.
Oh my god,
Hanging out with my buddy, Monday Night Lawson. What's going on, man?
bro! I, it was. You want to talk about an action-packed weekend? Just
Whew,
from
whew.
even if y'all good over there?
I'm tired, man. It's Monday.
It is Monday, but yeah, dude. From like just a whole, it seemed as if everything was going on from college, NFL, MLB. That I didn't realize, and I don't know how many times that it's been like this over the course of, I'm sure it's a lot, but since I've been like watching baseball, game in day 162 meant everything to like not literal 14 teams, but like it seemed as if half the playoff field, it really came down to the last day, whether it be for seeding or players or teams in or out.
Yeah, yeah. Usually, 162. I'm not, I don't pay attention too much unless like it has direct effect with with my team. But,
Yeah.
um, I mean, it seemed like I think the playoff picture was basically set
Hmm.
going into yesterday. It was just the seeding had a couple implications, and no, with the Tigers losing, now they have to travel to Cleveland, and good luck to us
It's kind of
because
scary.
Cleveland's been our daddy for a little bit. So, and I don't know. I hate to say it, but the Guardians have our number, man. So, we'll see
Hmm.
tomorrow.
Yeah, but so
We'll see.
how was your weekend?
Man, it was good. It was good. It was relaxing. Watched a lot of football, some baseball, and drank a little bit and had a good time. How was yours?
Oh, dude, it was the see if you would have told me about 4 or 5 years ago that I would spend a Saturday like just watching college football, I would have said I don't give a damn about college football. It's not the NFL,
Mm,
but it's great to see, like, for someone who, once again, I was a semi-casual like college football guy, but I was on the side of it's not the NFL, so I'm not
yeah.
really gonna watch it. But it was, dude, there were so many big games from Alabama, Georgia to the Penn State, Oregon whiteout game, from LSU getting well, not really an upset at Ole Miss because from a betting perspective, Ole Miss was the favorite, but it was still like when you have a team that is as talented as LSU going into Ole Miss and kind of just ho humming around the entire game.
Yeah. So, you mentioned from a betting perspective,
Oh God, let
um,
me hear it.
dude, fuck that quarterback from fucking Indiana. Fuck the Hoosiers. Fuck everything about them. Like, dude,
In case you missed
I
it,
hope
set the
that motherfucker
stage.
gets investigated, bro. And for if you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. The last play of Indiana versus Iowa. So I have Indiana minus 6.5, right?
Mm,
And Iowa has the ball. They turn over on downs. It should be, ball game pretty much. It's like 4th and 19. There's 3 seconds left, and the motherfucker runs 50 yards backwards and gets tackled in the end zone for a safety to lose or to win by 5 instead of 7. Dude, you didn't need to run all the way back to the end zone. I would not be surprised if some shit was like that was investigated, dude.
I,
Like,
I mean,
what the fuck, dude?
see, in theory, I get it. However, just for the entirety of the run back to the end zone, because once again, 3 seconds is literal. One, two, three. You could have
Mm,
just, what I've seen some teams and stuff do. Or great example. I think the Eagles did it. It was fourth and whatever, fourth in a Walmart parking lot against the Bucks with once again like 3 seconds left, where
Mhm.
they snapped it to the punter and he just ran out of the back of the end zone. But
Yeah.
from a betting perspective, it's really interesting to see how player not really players' mentalities, because once again they're not stupid. They see it. Do they partake in it? No, because it's against the rules. But a
Well, it
great
depends. 'Cause there's been a couple of schools that have been getting busted for it.
that is true. But a great example, when the Eagles were playing the Rams, the smart play was for Jordan Davis to pick it up and just go down because the game's over.
Mhm.
And once again, I'm not saying that he would have ran it all the way, then got stripped, and the Rams would have ran it all the way back. But these smart plays, game's over, just grab it, go down. But
Right.
there were videos of people like as Jordan Davis was running, into the end zone and scored. They're like, for the cover, for the cover, So it's like the sports betting mantra. It's slowly dripping into a lot of those smart plays. Like
Mhm.
example, I don't know if you remember this, but back when it was the Niners and the Ravens, to force that safety punt, I can't remember who Baltimore's punter was at the time, but he went to punt out of the back of the end zone after the infamous fourth and goal no call,
Mhm.
where he's just chilling in the end zone, just killing time, killing time, killing time, killing time, killing time. So the definition of every point matters. Another good example. Now, granted, the game ended up being in a tie. A lot of
Right.
people last night in the Sunday night game were like, "Oh, that return two, that's gonna mess up a spread somewhere, whether it be if you took the original six and a half point line or something alternate."
Yeah, and I had the Cowboys money line.
Mm,
I just got my money back, so whatever. But I also there was so you watched the end of that game, right?
dude, it was a
And
crazy game in general.
so um Jordan Love like almost blows it by throwing it, out of the end zone and getting 1 second left. Um, it's funny because there was another game, get where who it was, but it was a similar thing, but it was not a close game, and there was still 1 second left on the clock. You could see it, and the team started running out on the field because there was a defensive stop, and they literally just ended the game. And there was like you could see the 1 second they're running out, and they just put it to zero. I'm like, okay, so they do it for that, but they don't do it for this. I'm like,
Yeah,
hmm,
those
hmm, hmm.
those last seconds are crazy long. I remember in week one before halftime, when it was the Bills and the Ravens, that extra second and a half that got the Bills into field goal range before at the end of the first half. It's like that's a pretty long second, dude. That's a pretty long
Yeah.
second.
And speaking of bad beats, I think we both, or I don't know if you had it for Jerry Judy, but I had a very bad beat for Jerry Judy. 48 yards in the first quarter. First quarter, right? Just need him to get two more. Just get 50. And it's not like he came out of the game.
It's not like
It's
he
not like
ran
he
out of
wasn't.
targets.
He was still targeted too, like a couple times. He hit a few drops. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I go, the Lions covered my spread, but Judy couldn't get two more yards. Too
Dude,
many yards in 3 quarters.
dude,
Tell me
I
more
was,
catch.
I was so like when I sent you my props and stuff like that. It got the hook over for me, but yeah, like a lot of other people that I sent it to, they were in the same boat as you. Like, dog, Jerry Judy, you can't catch a screen. You
Right.
can't catch like a simple out or an in cut or
Yeah.
whatever.
Just tell him to give me the fucking ball. I need two more yards to get my over. Like Jesus Christ, dude. I'm like, oh my God. There was times like I was like, man, I should cash this out because this just it feels weird. But I'm like,
Hmm.
he literally needs one catch.
And they're
Like
getting
most,
destroyed.
yes.
And
I'm like,
Cedric
they're gonna
Tillman
be
left the game
okay.
too. I just thought about that. And Cedric Tillman left the game.
Yeah. And dude, the Browns offense, I don't watch a lot of Cleveland Brown football. I'm sorry.
Who would?
And, I don't think I think I'm in the majority of that, right?
Mm.
Um, dude, every single first down play was a run up the middle. It was like even like the announcers were like, this offense is getting pretty predictable. Like, yeah, run,
I mean,
pass, run, pass.
dude, it's almost like they had Matt Canada from when he was the offensive play caller for the Steelers. It's like, dude, if I see another run up the middle, end around, tight end screen on
Mhm.
first down, I'm gonna rip my hair out. Like because obviously I got I have an abundance of screens, so I have like all the games up. So I'm
Mhm.
watching. I'm like, the exact same point because it was kind of a not nip and tuck throughout because the final score was 34-10, but about midway through the second quarter, it's like, oh, could Cleveland make this a game like the Saints did against the Bills?
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, if every first down play it's trying to get ahead of the chains,
Hmm.
eventually they're going to be in the huddle and be like, hey guys, how much do y'all want to put in a little pot that it's going to be whether it be a dive or an ISO or like an open trap or just something like that.
Right. Well, I want to go back to the betting real quick.
100%.
Because I want to ask you a question. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think that they should eliminate player props? Because I think that's what, like, especially with college, I think that's where a lot of the issues are as far as players betting and getting in trouble and shit like that. And, it's just something else that, like, people, like you said, people are fucking aware of the spreads. They're aware of what yardage they need, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be something to talk about if if it does become a serious issue, and it seems like it already is, to get rid of player props. I mean, it'd be simple as that. People can still bet on other shit. You don't necessarily need individual player props where they can manipulate, you know, their efforts, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
If they have someone place a bet for them.
Yeah. The whole not the whole totality, the whole totality of the question, it's in a simple sense, it would help a lot of the effort things or the always suspicion of, oh, I'm a quarterback at insert school, and I got my running backs over. I'm going to audible to more runs or whatever. Now, I think that the idea of that actually happening is um, maybe a little bit perplexed because I really think that I believe that it's in very rare instances in which that happens. Now, another reason as to why they would never get rid of player props ever. There is too much money involved. One of my
Well, yeah, right.
right,
I agree with that.
yeah, one of my boys who he'll just throw around rant like 10, 5, a dollar on just these crazy ass like parlays and stuff. Like he hit a 10 leg a couple days ago where he picked like 10 like random players to get one hit in MLB, and I was like, oh, nice. And then yesterday he sends me this slip. 10 to win 326. It was Josh Jacobs anytime touchdown score, George Pickens anytime touchdown score, Micah Parsons get a sack, and the Green Bay defense to score a touchdown. And I was like, bro, who are you? What are you like, dude? It just happened last Thanksgiving. I was at a family member's house, and my cousin, who once he caught a little wind that I'm kind of nice at the betting stuff, he sat down and obviously it's Thanksgiving, we got the game on. Hey, who do you think I should put a touchdown on? And he was like, what about him? If I put $1, I could win 300. I said, do you know who that player is? He's like, no. I said, he's a safety. He's not scoring a touchdown. It was like Malik Hooker or somebody, and I was like, yeah, Malik Hooker's not scoring a touchdown, dog.
You know that guy? He retired 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, it was so funny because once again we're all on the couch watching. It was Dallas, and it was Dallas and New York, and you plops next to me. He's like, hey, who do you think I should put to score a touchdown? And then and he had Malik. I'll never forget, it was Malik Hooker, and it was like a plus, obviously
oh, God.
ridiculous. And I'm like, do you know who the hell that man is? And he's like, no. I said he's a safety. He's the furthest from the ball. He's not there. He's not scoring a touchdown.
I put $5 on Adam Vinatieri scoring a touchdown. Who's that?
Like,
Oh,
bro, what?
come on, bud.
It's really funny. To get away from the sportsman and stuff for a minute. I don't know if you watched the Chiefs Ravens game,
I
but
did watch some. It was on. It was
dude,
on.
the because when everyone was obviously there's your overreaction as to, oh, the Chiefs are 0-3 or 0-2 whatever it was, and then they didn't look great against the Giants but they won, and
Hmm.
it's like, oh well, what's happened with this Chiefs offense? It's like, well, when you lose somebody that has potentially Olympic level speed, it
Yeah.
opens things up for everybody else, and you saw Xavier Worthy look almost like he didn't miss a beat. I think he had 125 yards from scrimmage, including like
Mhm.
a 35-yard rush. I don't remember what his longest reception was. It might have been I could have sworn it was like 20 plus, but it's like he opens up so much that just him being on the field and in motion, like you saw Travis Kelsey get involved early. You know why? Because the middle of the field is more, there's a lot more space
Right.
because they have to worry about, Marquise Brown,
Right.
potential game breaking speed. Xavier Worthy does have game breaking speed,
Yeah, it's like that the old Tyreek Hill effect, right? So
dude.
it
Ridiculous.
opens up. You're absolutely correct. Opens up everything, and yeah, man, the Chiefs are going to be okay. I'm
Yeah.
I'm sure. It's you know, it's teams like the Falcons, if they would go 0-3, yeah, you're a little worried. You're probably not gonna make the playoffs. But
Mm-hmm.
a team like Buffalo or the Chiefs or the Ravens, you know, they're obviously gonna bounce back. Obviously you don't want to stretch with multiple losses in a row,
Mm-hmm.
but teams that prove that get it there, the fan base shouldn't be in panic mode yet. Dude, your Steelers had a nice showing out in
Dude,
Ireland, but I
I
heard your court was upset that he didn't get a travel day, or he didn't get a
yeah, like an extra 2 days of like just adjusting or whatever. It was so funny because, uh, like you said, I think it was the day, might have been the day or 2 days before. He was like, it would have been great to get here on like Wednesday, and I was like, Big Aaron, I understand you're 40 and you want just an extra small. Well, I assume it's a bigger deal than obviously than what we'll make of it because it
Mhm.
you are traveling in the future time wise, so your body needs to get adjusted to it and get off the jet lag and stuff. That game
You got
was,
to get 88 miles an hour.
dude, for real. It made me watching the game. It's not a Steelers game if the Steelers don't make you sweat at the end, because we had
Mhm.
like an 81-yard busted coverage in which the game in which the play before our DB gets hurt, you know. But it's just like there are so many instances. I was surprised as to how great Kenneth Gainwell looked without Jalen Warren, because he it was funny because I was making jokes in one of my group chats that Kenneth Gainwell is great when he's not on U.S. soil. Like if you look at his career in international games, he actually pops off. But it's just really funny that it was still as sweaty as it was and a little bit nerve wracking. But I thought Aaron played good. He was solid. Now DK Metcalf, when we traded for him, one of the things that makes him great is he's a physical freak, big, strong, good hands, has not a drop issue, but obviously there'll be like a play here where it's like, okay, DK, like you're too talented of a player for that to happen. Um, Great example. Week 1 against the Jets, he dropped I think like 2 of his first 3 passes, and then they threw him a screen. Now once again, it's just a screen; it's not expected to go anywhere, and he cuts up field for 30. And
Mhm.
DK on it was what an 80 like 2-yard touchdown just to slant and outruns everybody. He's a freak.
Absolutely. But it's funny that Aaron Rodgers says that, right, about the sightseeing.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's not like he doesn't have multi-million dollar, millions of dollars that he can go back there in the off season. Like it's
Hmm.
not like, oh my God, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Like, dude,
I also
just
don't.
when you're 9-8 and you don't make the playoffs, just go.
I also don't know if you saw this, but speaking of Aaron Rodgers and quotes and stuff like that, when he was jogging off the field and up the tunnel, how they'll have the uh NFL media for like their social media team on like have zoom ins on players and stuff like that. Aaron can be heard. It was awesome. I wish we were coming back, and then said next year. So a lot of people are like, oh, maybe he's coming back for another year. And I was like, guys, we're taking it game by game, week by week. I'm sure through the first 4 weeks, Aaron has, from everything from quotes to just his body language on the field, it looks like he's embracing it. And it's going to be really interesting due to how young the offensive line is. Like, Broderick Jones, I think, had by far his best game in week 4 because he has been the weak link per se on that Steelers offensive line, but I think as the season goes on, he's still a crazy young player. I think we took him in the first round 2 years ago.
Who's gonna retire first? Aaron Rodgers or Joe Flacco? Or are they gonna retire the same year?
That's a great question because Joe
The
Flacco.
Flacco or Rodgers?
My guess is Aaron because Flacco will just be a backup forever, dude. Like example, when he
A
in
starter.
in the eventuality in which he gets benched for
He's not benched. He's the man. He's the man in Cleveland. He's the closest thing they've ever gotten to a Super Bowl ring.
That's awesome. And he won it for a team in the same division.
Yeah, exactly. Like in Cleveland's locker room, they probably have their lockers and shit and whatever. They probably have like one spotlight on Flacco's locker, and like there's like a halo like above it and shit, and it just all glows towards him because he's got a Super Bowl ring.
He keeps the ring in his locker, and every time he opens up, it goes,
Ring,
oh,
yeah, kiss the ring, bitch.
dude. And
Jerry Judy, more targets, kiss the ring.
Dude, when we were talking about it, I looked it up. He had 9 targets. He had 3 in the first quarter, caught all 3, and then it was 2 in the second quarter, 1 in the third quarter, 3 in the fourth, and it's like, Judy.
Because at one point I was gonna text you and be like, "Is he still in the game? Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, come on, man!"
Funny.
And he kept throwing it to that fucking rookie tight end, that Finnegan or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah.
I'm like, give some love to Judy. He needs 2 yards.
He needs 1 catch, basically. Real quick before we get off the Steelers, I don't ever in my life want to hear a Myles Garrett TJ Watt conversation. Call me when Myles Garrett gets a pick. Just one. Because it seems like TJ and even Joe Burrow, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, said, I have to treat TJ Watt like a DB. Because he'll just jump up, bat a ball, or just jump up and snag it. And he did that in Ireland, too. And it was even more funny because Max Crosby had the exact same play essentially the same play in the Bears game, and people are like, "Oh my God, his effort and all that stuff." And then a Steelers fan, quoted the tweet and was like, "Everyone must have been asleep when TJ did it because it was super early in the game."
Myles Garrett's way better, but anyway,
I don't want to hear that
Aiden
shit.
Hutchinson's way better than both of them. Aiden Hutchinson gets picks too, so get the fuck off TJ Watt's nuts.
I won't. That's my man right there. But yeah, dude.
And Aiden Hutchinson, I think, had like 1 or 2 forced fumbles yesterday too.
Dude, that's another guy too, where it's like in the elite of the elite edge rushers, and he's only in this is his 3rd year.
3rd or 4th, yeah.
Like, he's gonna be a freak too. Like, he is the definition of, if you could look up Detroit edge rusher, don't even say the Lions, just the city of Detroit. He's mean. He's grit. He's dude, for real. He's awesome.
Robert Porcher, Tracy Schragans, all the ones like I was gonna say like Ziggy Ansah, but he sucks. And like shit like that.
Shout out Ziggy Ansah, man. It was so funny because like his first year like in the NFL, he was like 28, and there were a lot of people like, dude, where'd you come from?
Yeah, and then he was like in like a fucking Little Caesars commercial here.
That's awesome. That's so funny.
Dude, you suck. Like you're such a massive man, and you're just not good at football.
Yo,
I wish you were.
Ziggy was nice for a couple years though. For like 2.
For a couple years,
yeah,
but
it was
there's
like 2.
He never got like a second contract or anything after.
Yeah. To
pivot, he got a second break somewhere, but not here.
Not here. To pivot from the NFL, we already talked about day 162. I want to spotlight a team that didn't make it, the New York Mets,
Oh, yeah.
because
They got eliminated yesterday. They were the only ones that got like eliminated yesterday, I believe.
yep, it
Them
was
Houston, maybe.
he, Houston got eliminated on day 161 because they had
Okay.
they had to win two of the three, and they lost the first two. There was at one point, I think I read on Twitter somewhere, that the Mets had like a 47-25 record, and the AKA the best. I think it was like the best record in baseball at the time, and they missed the playoffs. I also saw a crazy stat this morning. They were 0-67 this season when trailing after 8 innings. They're the only team that didn't have a single win
Never
in
come
this,
back. Damn.
not once. And the internet is a beautiful place because they were doing some more digging. The Mets and Marlins have played. They didn't go into the pantheon of baseball, but over like the last 18 years, they have played in Game 162 3 times. In 2007, the Marlins eliminated the Mets from the playoffs. In 2008, the Marlins eliminated the Mets from the playoffs, and then yesterday, the Marlins eliminated the Mets from the playoffs. Like you go out and you spend almost $1 billion on Juan Soto, and he got off to a really slow start and then had like a historic June, and now it's like all that was essentially for a wash year.
Yeah.
And Pete Alonso, what's his nickname? The Polar Bear?
I don't know.
Shit, probably. But
I don't pay
I don't pay attention.
nicknames.
I don't pay attention to.
I don't pay attention to nicknames. I got 1,000 of them,
I got
dude.
a
They don't mean anything.
Yeah, though, but he's opting out of his contract to hit the open market, which he's just a big hefty bat, and it's gonna be interesting to see what him like if Kyle Schwarber doesn't re-sign with the Phillies, what he's gonna get. But yeah, to highlight the Mets, that is a almost an all-time blunder because even if you don't have like the best roster per se, making the playoffs, it's a crapshoot. Anything can happen.
Mhm. I think Kyle Schwarber, if he doesn't stay with Philly, I think he might go to the Yankees. Just because it just makes sense. Big lefty, short porch. He can hit like fucking probably 97 home runs next year. Um, it's gonna be interesting. But who do you okay, so playoffs start tomorrow.
Yep.
Who do you got winning the World Series? Early prediction.
Ugh. That's such a tough one, dude.
And don't say the Atlanta Braves.
No, because they were Tim Diddley ass this year. It's so funny because they like last year
Swept the
they're
Tigers.
huh?
They swept the Tigers.
Who
I
didn't
was there for the game.
who didn't sweep the Tigers over the past month and a half? It seemed like everybody, but it's really hard for me not to say I really love what Seattle did at the deadline. I think they have the best like starting pitching rotation in baseball. But teams that haven't like been there before, like example, Milwaukee was not in a by far sense, but record wise, they were a dominant team all
Hmm.
year. Um, I'm going to say now that the Seattle Mariners beat the Detroit Tigers in the World Series.
Like that can't happen.
Oh yeah, fuck, my bad. Wrong league.
This is this is. I was gonna say this is a sports show. It's not a sports show, but
No, it's a
God,
show for no, it's a show for goofs and
yeah,
showing how much we're
we
really
don't.
raw when it comes to baseball. And then nationally, give me the Dodgers. It's so hard not to go with the Dodgers based off of not only are they a stacked team from top to bottom. Kershaw announcing his retirement. Well, essentially, I mean, I assume we kind of could read between the lines before it was like officially official.
Yeah,
But with him doing it with what was it, 10 days to go in the regular season, that just gives them the extra little oomph.
yeah.
And I don't know if you heard this, but Shohei said about maybe 2 weeks ago that he's open to playing in the outfield, so they
Mhm.
can bring him in as a closer. And I'm like, So you
Yeah.
have somebody who you could essentially damn near play every single game as a closer because it seems like he just doesn't get tired.
Hmm. Yeah, and so I think the Dodgers are going to win the World Series. They're
Yeah.
just too stacked. Obviously, I want the Tigers to win, but they're
Hmm.
not going to. So I would like, since my Tigers aren't going to win it, I would like to see the Toronto Blue Jays win it.
That's another sneaky, just interesting team that kind of just not really came out of nowhere, but they have they're just a interesting team that kind of, in my opinion, they snuck under the rug to the one seed.
And they kind of went all out for this year. I know Bichette is probably going to be a free agent after the year,
Hmm.
or will be dealt because they weren't able to. I don't think they were able to get a deal done. I think he wants out,
Hmm.
and so they went and got Max Scherzer for a year. I think they got a couple other pieces, for a year or two, and I think they're going to be in the World Series with the Dodgers, and I'm hoping that the Blue Jays outlast the Dodgers, but I think the Dodgers are going to win. Hopefully the Tigers just sweep through everyone, and it's like the shortest postseason in baseball history, and they just go, 2-0, 3-0, 5-0. It's 9-0, 13-0 in the playoff.
Do you know how shocking that would be if they just flipped a switch in game one and just turn it into how they look in the first like 60 games of the year?
Dude, what's gonna happen? My bold prediction is the Tigers are gonna sweep through the playoffs and not let up one run.
Scooble's pitching every game.
Yep.
Oh, how
Jack Flaherty every inning.
that brother sucks. The
That brother
that
sucks.
brother
We,
sucks.
I believe we have him for next year too.
Yeah. It's still just a funny concept that last year he gets dealt to the Dodgers, wins the World Series, and then just comes right back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
doesn't
but
happen too often.
huh?
Doesn't happen too often. There was like Lindsey Hunter. Do you know who Lindsey Hunter is?
No.
Uh, he was a point guard for the Pistons.
Hmm.
But he would get. It seemed like he would always get traded at the trade deadline, and then like the team that we traded him to would just like release him to open up cap space, so we would just sign him back. And it was like he had like so many stints with the Pistons.
Yeah.
He had like maybe three of them total. Or same thing with a guy named Ramon Santiago.
Hmm.
He was like a utility guy for the Tigers. Same thing, dude. He would get dealt and shit, or like whatever, like DFA'd, and then he'd end up back on the Tigers
That's
somehow,
so
some way. And we're
funny.
like, oh, Ramon's back. He got traded. I think there was one deal. I was it him or Omar Infante? One of them. When we traded for Carlos Guillen
Hmm.
from Seattle. Literally, Seattle just released whoever we traded. I think it was either Omar Infante or Ramon Santiago, and we literally just signed him like the next day.
Hmm. That's
We
hilarious.
cleaned them off of waivers, and he came right back, and we essentially traded Guillen for like nobody.
That's awesome. Now, while we're still on baseball, let's give our wild card predictions. So there are only, four series. It's a best of three. So, give me your and once again, bias or non-bias, give me who you feel.
All
Uh,
right, give me the matchups. I don't have the matchups in front of me, so give me the match.
I'm about to read them to you.
All right, dude.
The Tigers and the Guardians.
You don't do anything else right. How am I expected to know you're gonna do this right? Tigers, Guardians,
Yep.
Guardians.
I'm I'm going with the Tigers. Someone's got to bow leave. Might as well be me.
Yeah,
Then we
it's hard when we get just spanked by them every fucking year and every time we fucking play them. So
I,
I got to be realistic.
yeah. I mean, school starting game one. If they can win game one, I bet your levels of confidence would just not shoot through the roof, but they'd be like, oh, okay, we
Mhm.
only got to win.
Yeah,
We got to split the next
one
two.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, because it is a three-game series, are all the games in Cleveland?
I think so. I think so.
Because
Yeah,
because
because they wouldn't. Yeah, I think they are because they wouldn't go back and forth.
yeah, it's that's really interesting based off of like how the how other sports that have series do how they'll do like
Mhm.
well the first round's a best of 3 so you can't really have like the 1-1-1 due to all the stuff. I remember asking my dad when the Braves won the World Series against the against the Astros. I'm like, how come there's 2 days in between like travels? Because they do the 2-3-2 instead of the
Yeah.
2-2-1-1-1 like they do in basketball. I'm like, how come it takes like 2 days in between like moves? So he said, because for baseball, you know how much shit you gotta move and be prepared and like prepare for. And I was like, did not think about that.
Yeah.
So then our
Basketball, you just bring a ball.
just bring a ball and some shoes and you're good.
That's it.
And then we got a really interesting series between the Padres and the Cubs. I'm really excited for this one
That
because
yeah, that's definitely intriguing.
mhm,
Both good offenses, both good pitching. We're good. Let's
yeah.
go.
So who do you got?
So Padres Cubs,
And it's in
give me
Chicago.
give me the Padres. Give me the Padres.
I think, and I am writing this down by the way. It's really interesting because I feel like the Cubs as a historical franchise have been that they were it was what the 108-year curse that they broke when they won the
Yeah.
World Series in 2016. With the Cubs, always just I feel like they are like they're a really really good team, but to me, my read is they're just a little too early, like arriving on schedule. I think next year they'll be better, just because they do have a lot of young to middling talent that needs just a
Mhm.
little bit more experience. And for that reason, I also like the Padres.
Do you? Here's a crazy stat that I heard the other day.
Yep.
Uh, Going back to the Tigers. The Tigers are one of the most historical franchises in baseball.
Mhm.
I think they're one of like 5 teams that have never moved locations.
That's
Um,
crazy.
Dude, over the last 100 years, they've only made the playoffs back to back 5 times.
I saw it was like the first time since like 2011 to 2014 that
I'm
they made
like,
it back.
dude, that's fucking insane. Like to think about that. Like
Hmm.
literally, you've only made the playoffs back to back 5 times in 100 years. Like Jesus.
I mean, sometimes you excuse me, you play the hand that you're dealt.
I mean,
So
I know it's a sport, but the Red Wings made the playoffs 25 years in a row. What the fuck, dude? What's going on here? Anyway,
yeah.
next
Um,
series,
Next series. This one could be the
the
series.
Rockies,
Out of,
Rockies Pirates.
speaking of the Rockies, did you see what their admin tweeted out on Twitter?
No,
Hold on a bit.
we'll see next year.
Kinda, yeah. I'm about to read it. Here,
Cheers. Cheers
here.
to 2005.
14 hours ago, he tweeted, "Hey Rockies fans, at Rockies admin here. Before we sign off for a while, we just wanted to say thank you for being the people we spend more time with than our actual family, for hanging out with us every day since February 10th. For the replies and comments, and then he put in parentheses, yes, we read them. We can't wait to be back, but for now, we're gonna take a nap." And did the piece. I
Awesome.
some teams just have awesome social media accounts.
Right.
Bluey, the Indianapolis Colts, mascot. They, I don't know if, not to go on a tangent about football, but I don't know if you saw how the Colts lost on three different ways that they lost. They had Madion Mitchell score a 76-yard touchdown, but he let the ball go when he crossed over the line.
Yeah, I saw that. What
And
an idiot.
and then when the Colts had the ball and were driving into field goal range, Jonathan Taylor, like 47-yard touchdown run, he got it called back because guess what? Adion Mitchell holding, and then the
Mhm.
88-yard go ahead touchdown for the busted coverage. The Rams social media account tweeted out a picture of like. So Bluey's thing is he'll just walk around and just like pie, fans just in the face, just because
Yeah.
you're a mascot. You kind of get the get out of jail free card to just kind of
Mhm.
goober around with fans. And so
Yeah.
the Rams tweeted a picture, and obviously said something about the win, and they tweeted a picture of a pie and the Colts logo on it, and the official Twitter kind of we commented on that and said, "Y'all are so lucky I'm in Indiana."
Anyway,
Yeah.
stupid.
Anyways,
I hate right now as much as Ohio.
huh?
So I hate Indiana right now as much as Ohio.
Yeah.
Stupid Hoosiers.
Mm-hmm. So this has a chance to be the series, not just of obviously the World Series on paper, and the huzzah is the best series of,
Mhm.
but the Red Sox and the Yankees, there's always bad blood.
Yeah.
And if there's ever a team that is riding in hot, they have the Yankees have the best streak entering the postseason. They're on an 8-game winning streak, winning
Mhm.
9 of their last 10. Who do you got taking in this chapter of this rivalry?
I'm gonna go with the Yankees.
Mm,
I think they're just a better team. Um, I'm curious, like if I obviously it's a sports rival, right? So like the fans are always gonna hate each other.
mhm,
I'm wondering if there's any players minus like an Aaron Judge, who is actually like involved with the rivalry or like cares about the rivalry because like players, they switch uniforms like they fucking brush their teeth now. So,
mhm.
um, I wonder if there's any, actually bad blood between the actual players on, the rosters.
Yeah.
Of course, fans hate each other, and it's going to be hyped up as Red Sox Yankees as it should be. But I
Mhm.
wonder if any of the players actually fucking care.
That's a great point because I feel like, especially for those early 2010s and or like the early 2000s to
Mm.
dribbling into the 2010s, that was the genuinely one of the best rivalries in baseball for a non-baseball guy. You just kind of know Red Sox
Sports in
Yankees.
general.
Yeah, and that just how you brought up how a lot of players they just switch uniforms like they brush their teeth and things of that nature, to the point to where I don't know if they're to bring up to double down on your point. Are any of these players like actually invested in any of the rivalries of years past, or is it just like it's just another team because like you remember in those early 2000s, like Big Poppy and Jeter, they
Hmm.
just don't like each other. And
Right.
back when rivalries genuinely meant something, I know I'll tee the saying, but we need less hate in the world and more hate in sports. Like just the
Yeah.
rivalries and the shit talking, it means something to me.
It's even worse in college, man, because with NIL and the transfer portal, like no none of these kids care about these rivals like Michigan, Ohio State.
Yeah.
I doubt most of the fucking kids even care. Like, yeah, they're like, oh, whatever, whatever. But like, it's not like they were fans of the school. It wasn't like they were, like these diehard Michigan fans wanting to go to Michigan just to beat Ohio State
Mhm.
anymore. It's not like that. It's like, okay, well, we got a five-star recruit that we can throw $5 million on from Texas who doesn't give two shits about these fucking teams. And they're just like, whatever, it's just another game, dude. Get me to the NFL or whatever. So,
Yeah.
I think college sports really take a hit on the rivalry games because I just don't think it means that much to the actual players because they're like, okay, I have no tie. I have no ties to this school minus, I'm either getting paid or I'm playing, or
Mhm.
both. So, it's like, okay, highest bidder. I don't care if you're rival, USC and Notre Dame. I'll go from USC to Notre Dame if they pay me more. Like, it
Right.
just doesn't fucking matter. So, unfortunately, hopefully we can, unfortunately that's the case, but hopefully we can continue to have great rivals in sports because without rivals, sports would be kind of boring. So,
Yeah.
it sucks that people don't stick with the same squad for longer than they do nowadays. But anyway,
It's
Red Sox, Yankees. I got the Yankees. You said you got the Yankees as well.
Yeah, And one last thing before we hit on the last series about the rivalry thing. That's why whenever these, on post game on field altercations happen, like example last year in the Ohio State Michigan game where where Michigan won in Ohio State, the year before, and they planted the flag, and they went to go do it
Hmm.
again, and Jack Sawyer, got involved, and there are clips of just people around, recording, and you can hear them and see them saying they're not playing that fucking flag at the
Hmm.
school again, and to where it is the newer generation because you grow up, if you're a fan of college football and a fan of these schools, you see the rivalries,
Yeah.
and you bring up a great point where the NIL's kind of taken away like the edginess to it, to
Hmm.
where whenever the Jack Sawyer thing happens, there's a giant on the field, not a fight or a brawl, but there's pushing, shoving, things are getting said, and things of that nature, to where it's like, oh my god, that's so scary. Like, it's a rivalry. Things happen. There might be some
Right.
punches exchanged, but that's what happens when you get these football and sports. It For the majority of them, they're high testosterone, high energy, level things. And when you have whenever people want just a short, sweet definition of football, is a grown ass man trying to move another grown ass man against his will.
Right.
Emotions are gonna get high. Things are gonna happen. But
Yeah.
that's
I'm not gonna like you at the end of the game
yeah,
or during
yeah,
or before the.
or in
I'm
general.
not gonna like you.
Yeah,
Maybe
t-
maybe 10 years down the road, when both of us don't make it to the pros, we can go get a cup of coffee.
and
But as of right now, I don't like cup of coffee. I don't like coffee. So maybe it won't. Maybe we'll go get hot chocolate because I do like hot chocolate, but I don't like coffee. But you know,
who doesn't like hot
maybe 10
chocolate?
down the road, and
Mm.
then I can reminisce about whooping your ass.
Yeah. Now of the last series, for as on paper, this should just be like a clean sweep. The Reds and the Dodgers. This, I mean,
I wasn't aware that the Reds got into the playoffs. Wait, the Dodgers don't have a first round bye?
nope.
Who's got the first round buys?
Okay, so in the American League, it is the Blue Jays and the Mariners. In the National League, it's the Brewers and the Phillies.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Um,
And Clayton Kershaw is not on the wild card roster. Once again, just to throw it out there.
Dodgers, like I said, I picked the Dodgers to win the World Series.
Yeah,
I would love to see the Reds win. LA De Cruz, one of the
bro.
most exciting players in baseball. What's his name? Hunter Green can throw
Mm-hmm.
I think they clocked him at like 617 miles an hour. Um, I don't know how you see that baseball, but fuck, dude. That would be an exciting team to see.
Mm.
Go deep into the playoffs, but unfortunately, I think they're gonna hit the buzzsaw of Team Japan and you know,
Yeah.
have have the three Japanese starters, lined up right away
When
with Clayton Kershaw coming out of the bullpen. That's gonna be a little tough.
that'd be funny. It was really funny too when I was, because I have a lot of friends that they're not sports edge in general, and I like showing them, like, for baseball nowadays, it's not a niche sport, but it can be. So, like example,
Hmm.
if you're just a casual guy, you might not know who Ellie De La Cruz is, and he's one of the most electric players in baseball. And when I was, talking about him, and I was showing them like clips of him stealing, second, third, and home on two pitches, or just him destroying balls. It's like how or oh, when he touches balls, they die, they get destroyed.
They just
And from
they
like
self-destruct.
they they self a little countdown goes on in the stadium, to just a cannon of an arm he has, and they're like, bro, he's tall, fast, can hit hard, and like, so the nickname in my friend group for Ellie De La Cruz is Mr. Baseball, because it's like, if you were to Google perfect baseball player, it would look like Ellie. He's tall, he's fast, he's got crazy power, he's got a crazy cannon of an arm, and they're like, well, what's his thing? I said, that motherfucker will swing and miss at everything, but when he hits the ball, he gets hit real hard.
Well, yeah, that used to be Mike Trout, right? So
Yeah,
Mike Trout used to be Mr. Baseball, the
and
big fish, or the big tuna, or whatever the fuck they call him.
the big trout, but It's really, and then once again, when we get deeper into baseball, it's like, oh, actually, Shohei's Mr. Baseball, because we'll all be in a call, and I'm like, oh, Shohei just hit another home run, and then I'll say, because of course he did. This is what
Right.
Shohei
And
does.
lucky enough for us that, the World Series usually goes into early November, which is great. Let's watch fucking baseball when it's damn near snowing outside.
Yeah,
Um yeah, so Dodgers Blue Jays, who you got? Dodgers who did you say? Dodgers Mariners?
yeah.
All right, let's go.
Uh, Hold on. You
Hey,
said who was yours again?
let's hopefully,
Dodgers,
huh?
Blue Jays.
Yeah. Hopefully the Tigers don't get swept.
Dodgers defeat Blue
Hopefully they don't
Jays.
get swept. What else, man? We
Uh,
got about it's Monday.
it is
It's
Monday.
a start of a new week.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh, I
I
got
don't know what
something.
else is going on.
Did we kind of tee-heed about it before the show about Bad Bunny doing the halftime show?
Oh yeah, okay. Trying to get that Latin audience, right?
He's the number one like most listened to singer artist in the world. Like it's like him and Taylor Swift.
It's
But
like me.
dude, for real, the
Yeah.
I
Um,
genuinely thought it was gonna be Taylor Swift. I mean, you have your storyline, you're built in, and all that jazz, which I think she'll eventually do one. But
I don't. I don't think they'll have her do one until Kelsey's retired,
that's
because
that's why I said I
uh
think she'll eventually do one.
because imagine if Kelsey's in the Super Bowl, the conflict of interest as far as like the shit's rigged. I mean,
Insane.
there's already, scripts out there, and shit
Uh
and
huh.
whatever. And like, to some, for someone that who does think there is manipulation with spreads and things,
Mm.
you know,
It,
you just stirring the pot, stirring the pot for people like me who I'm like, okay, well, that's pretty coincidence that the spread is 7.5 and they won by 7,
yeah.
or whatever. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, I think the smart move for the NFL would be to wait because Kelsey's on his last couple years anyway. You could tell he's slowing down and he's probably
Mm-hmm.
not gonna be playing much longer. His brother retired; he's probably gonna retire soon, and I think it would be a much better strategic move to have her do it after the Super Bowl or after him retiring.
That's a great
Because if he
point.
gets involved, like I said, people are just like, and they probably don't care what people think, but like, I mean, if she was announced like as if like Bad Bunny was he just announced this past weekend or something?
He was announced last night during Sunday Night Football.
Okay, so if she would be announced, I would put money on the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl,
Oh, dude,
like 100%.
it's just one of those weird
And then they'd probably have
coincidences.
a wedding after. They would have probably a WWE type wedding after,
Will there be a
and
wedding at the 50-yard line at the halftime show?
exactly. Well, not even at the end of the show. After the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, when the fucking confetti's coming down, they're all just gonna bring out fucking chairs. They're all gonna sit down and just have a ceremony.
that would
It'd be
that would be
fucking
hilarious.
stupid.
Yeah, though. But what's your thoughts on Bad Bunny like in general doing the halftime show, or do you just
I
not
mean,
care?
I knew nothing of his music. I do know he's like the number one artist on like Spotify and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably trying to reach a Latin
More
audience.
global audience. Yeah, that's a good
Yes,
point.
and cool. I'm not a big Super Bowl halftime show guy.
Mm-hmm.
It went because okay, so you got to understand my era of people.
Yeah,
We
y'all were blessed. Y'all had some
we we
crazy bangers.
we had decent to good ones in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Very early 2000s we had really good ones, but then the Janet Jackson thing happened. So then they
Mm-hmm.
got super conservative. So then we started getting like really old fucks like Paul McCartney and stuff like that and stuff
Yeah.
that like I didn't really care about. Um, and then within the last probably 5 6 years they started getting a little bit better. So like the majority of my halftime show, you know, viewing was after the whole Janet Jackson thing. So it was like, okay, well, now we're just gonna go super conservative, super like, all right, we're gonna please the old people or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
and it just I just after that I just stopped caring about it. So I don't I the I really like the Dr. Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent one.
Yeah.
Um Snoop, like that's the stuff that I grew up on and I listened to in high school and stuff. So that was like very nostalgic for me and it like brought me back and I was feeling really good watching that. Otherwise, I really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
It's and a lot of the times in my yester years,
My
I was too
years.
drunk to fucking care about the fucking halftime show anyway.
But
So,
halftime, I was too fucked up from drinking and watching the game. Bless you. Oh, three
um,
times. Four
four, fuck.
times. Four.
Um,
Four.
anyway,
Mm-hmm.
the Ravens 49ers Super Bowl halftime show, when the Harbaugh brothers went on it, they I remember because there was a like a blackout,
Yeah, the
right?
power outage. I think it was 37. I think it was the Black Eye. No, the Black Eyed Peas was the year before. Before? I don't remember.
Hey,
Ooh. Ooh.
sorry, we're live. Hey, no. Sorry, my
Uh-oh.
dog is getting Wyatt's getting scolded. No.
Uh-oh.
Um
I'm
so
gonna look up who the halftime show was.
but during that Super Bowl, since we had the blackout,
Mm-hmm.
they like we just got fucking trashed. Like as far as like we just drank. Like dude, we were just going heavy. I didn't even remember the second half. And I think most of the people that I was with didn't. Because we like literally we were just playing like heavy drinking games during that.
It was
Um
Beyonce, by the way.
and I had to I remember having to watch like the highlights the next morning of the second half
Which is
to kind of know
I was about
what
to
happened.
I was about to say, which is crazy because that's one of the from a standpoint of Ravens dominated the first half, dominated early in
Mm-hmm.
the third, and then the Niners came roaring back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So,
um
anyway,
to kind
we
of
don't have Nerfies today.
yeah.
I don't even know if we're gonna do playoff Nerfies. I should have added up my record. We'll have our final total season records on Wednesday.
Mhm.
Uh, we'll figure that out. But
Yeah.
we don't have Nerfies today.
It
Who's
breaks
the
my
Monday
heart.
night game? There's two Monday night games tonight. The Jets and Dolphins.
Yeah, which
Uh,
I'd rather pour bleach in my eye.
okay, sounds good. Who do you got in that game?
It's the definition of trash or trash with sparkles. Like, I'm gonna ride with the underdogs and the Jets. They pass the vibe check. Like, even if you're a bad team, sometimes you just got good vibes. Like example, the Brooklyn Nets of like the late 2010s and the early 2020s, like they were terrible, but they had like Jared Dudley on the bench, and whenever there was any hype, the whole bench would just get up and start dancing. They just passed a vibe check. Um, I think the Jets are going to beat the Dolphins tonight, and then I think in the game that I don't know what your take is on Monday night doubleheaders. I don't like them. I
I
don't
don't
like them.
mind them. I don't mind them just because if one game's trash, the other one might be treasure.
Hmm.
But if they're both trash, then whatever. I actually don't mind it. What I don't like is let's have a fucking game on a Friday the first week, or let's have a game on fucking
Like the Black
Black Friday,
Friday. Yep. Hmm.
shit like that. I'm like, dude, like I don't need this much football. Like I already feel bad for my girlfriend, like having to suffer through me watching football through the entire weekend. So I don't need more of that. So
Yeah.
please, NFL, I know you're about to make money, or you're about making money, but please think of Bobby when you do your scheduling and be like, hey, Bobby's girlfriend probably doesn't want to watch football all the time. So please, you know,
Or even on
take
Christmas.
consideration.
Christmas is another one where it's like they're slowly starting to take over. And once again, Christmas for me will always be a basketball day. It's
Right.
like Thanksgiving for football. The
Hmm.